All right, good morning and welcome to VoP this morning. My name is Moses Humphrey, and of course, I'm working with Esther Wachuku. Now, Nnamdi Kanu's family has parted ways with his legal team. Now, definitely, they will hire another. Plus, a former Nigerian senator confessed to securing legal favors for his friends during pillow talk with his wife, who was a powerful justice of law at the time. Well, today on the show, these two issues will be our focus, and we'd like for you to do well, to click on the like button, and subscribe to our page on YouTube. It is Voice of the People TV up on YouTube. That is Voice of the People TV. And on other social media platforms, VoP TV Live. First off, we'll be heading into what the front pages are saying, and this, of course, is, I would say, my favorite part of the show. All right, so let's, to help me make sense of the headlines that we have this morning on the cover pages of some newspapers, I have with me VoP analyst Cyril Abaku. Good morning to you, Cyril.
Good morning, Moses.
All right, we missed you on the show. Been a while. Been a while.
Yeah, glad to be back here on TGIF Friday. So.
All right. Oh yes, it is TGIF Friday.
Yes, it is.
I've lost track of days of the week. All right, so we'll be starting off with we have the Guardian newspaper, we have the Punch newspaper as well, and we'll also be touching on the Nation. But let's start off with the Guardian newspaper. Now, the Guardian has this headline: costly rents, burial plots, no resting place for the poor, even in death. And then, beside that one, we have posers over ministerial list as Tinubu unveils henchmen in batches. And then we have another headline here: PMS marketers need $1.8 billion monthly for import as stakeholders move to resolve gray areas. That's PMS marketers need $1.8 billion monthly for import as stakeholders move to resolve gray areas. 18,088 blurred election results uploaded to IREF portal. Witness tells court. That's a lot. 18,088 blurred election results uploaded to IREF portal. Witness tells court. If the results are blurred, then shouldn't they have been, discarded?
Invalidated.
Invalidated. All right. Well, we do have Economic Council meets on NLC's 702 billion naira recommendation for salary adjustments, and also manufacturers lose 10.1 trillion naira to poor electricity supply. All right, these are the headlines we have from the Guardian newspaper.
The story about the $1.5 billion that they need to import fuel monthly, I hope government will not be the one giving them the money. I hope that with the unified exchange rate now, the fact that government, that they will have access to dollars, they should look for their dollars, look for their vessels.
So we don't have another means of
Yes.
taking the nation's funds.
No, sure. Look, even if it is $100 billion, no problem. Go and look for your dollars. Nobody's giving you subsidy. I hope that is what is going to happen. Grab, look. You are a businessman now. You're a businessman. You're no longer leaning on government to do charity for the poor. What you're doing, or for Nigerians, what you're doing now is, so do your feasibility study. Go back. You are a business. They are not businessmen. Put on your thinking caps and do the business. Then, on the other hand, because I've not seen the details of the story. Hopefully, if our refineries get back on stream, which I believe they will and they should, in let's even say a year or two, if we're able to get our refineries back on track, I want to believe that that cost will also be beaten back. Yeah. We've been plunged into the river in the hope that it will part. In the hope that somewhere along the way, we won't drown. That the miracle will happen. We've taken government by faith, and we are believing that something is going to break even very soon. So $1.5 billion, $100 billion, even if you're going to empty the US economy to import fuel to Nigeria, it's fine. It's in your books. It's for yourself. Source for the money. I shudder to imagine the way the subsidy thing and all the oil money, people, once you talk about oil, is about plenty money and corruption and everything that was going on. People couldn't, some people couldn't even raise money. Was it some 2-3 weeks ago? Couldn't even raise the capital that NNPC now required for them to have to be able to, get oil from them. I was wondering. Even last night I went to a filling station. I closed from work. I got home. They were dispensing. By the time I took a cake and I went back there, they said I learned that they had run out of fuel. So now it's like, if you have the money, buy and sell. That's where I think we are. But the fact is, with all the money that was flowing, how was it that people couldn't have business sense to, well, I'm not judging them, but the people couldn't perhaps also have business sense to to keep money to stay afloat, which tells me that free money is not good money. Moses, I'm sorry if it's controversial. Free money, or let me say free money, is not always good money. Look at Russia, look at Nigeria, look at all the major oil exporting countries. It happened to them. Gowon even told us that we have money. What we don't know how to do is what to use it for. Meanwhile, but as at that time, not every community in Nigeria had joined the national grid. Not all communities in Nigeria had become motorable. Pipe water had not gotten everywhere. We didn't do free education. But the moment oil money came, we abandoned agriculture. There's a war in Russia and Ukraine, which exports to the world has dwindled because Russia and Ukraine are the major wheat suppliers to the whole world. In fact, especially to Africa. Do you see now that because of oil, Nigerian agriculture was relegated to the background? They had the same problem. It was after a while that they said, no, guys, oil is good, but in spite of, we must make sure that we don't relegate what we had before oil came. So this is the thing. We hopefully subsidy gone. That should be the beginning for greater and better things to come. Okay, we must go back to the thinking to the drawing board, as you say, put on our thinking caps and decide exactly what it is we want to do and how we want to make our economy to grow. Oil, fine, but not just oil alone. I mean, can't you think of better things to do?
All right, let's look at this headline. This is really interesting. The one that talks about costly rent, burial plots, no resting place for the poor, even in death. Now, I did a finding for someone one time, and it was alarming as to how much one would pay for, a vault, a space to put their dead. If you want to buy outrightly, it was high, but now it's even higher because that was some years back. Now, we have the figures here, so let's just look at the figures.
Yeah.
Ikoyi vaults and gardens, you have approximately 3.2 million.
Of course, the poor don't go there. Do they go there?
Okay, so now we'll discuss where will the poor go.
Yeah.
Ebony vaults, also in Ikoyi, ranges between 12.5 million to 25 million to bury the dead. Also, I think this is also ebony vaults. Yes, they have 22 million, they have 35 million, and then they have the lesser ones, 750,000 to 1.7 million. Those are the lesser ones. So the cheapest basically is 750,000 naira. That's somewhere in the
you don't own the spot, do you? You just
it's for a time.
Yeah.
For a period of time.
Okay.
I think it's about 15 to 20 years.
Yes. Okay.
And they take the carcass out and give it out. Aton Cemetery, Ibutemeta. We have 400,000, and then we have 300,000, and then they have so Aton Cemetery goes between 400 and 300,000, and then they also have the 400 to 500,000. So basically, the cheapest here is 300,000. All right, and then we have Ikoyi Cemetery, which basically has the cheapest. There's that of 200,000, but it's not taken care of. The weeds will overtake the graveside, poorly taken care of. And then they have 250,000, they have 500,000, they have 600,000, and they have 1 million. That's in Ikoyi. And then Ojodu Bega, we have 10 million to 30 million per slot. And then average costs average cost for a plot of land in Lagos, you know, the editors had to tell you the average cost for a plot of land, which is about 150 that's 150.33 million per square meter, and then somewhere around Yaba, you have 75 per slot is 655 million uh, per slot. That's 775,655. So basically, haven't we thought about having crematoriums?
Well,
I've actually thought about it. All right, because these places, these burial grounds, have been in operation for a long time. So why don't we have crematoriums, and those that opt for it will have their dead cremated, or maybe according to the wish of the wishes of the person.
the disease, yes.
Yes, cremate and then maybe keep the ashes or do whatever you like with the ashes.
The ashes, yes.
I don't know if our African beliefs will allow us, do that.
Well,
As against paying humongous sums to bury the dead. And that's why sometimes when you go to the morgues, some bodies are abandoned.
cremation is popular with the Jehovah's Witnesses. They are the ones who,
Even here in Nigeria.
I don't know, but I know that in their literature they often have seen them make the case for cremation, for cremating the dead. Perhaps it's a way of saving cost. It's a way of saving land space as well, because oftentimes when the dead has passed, the family bears the burden of again proving that they are up to the task of giving a befitting burial. So a lot of times people will go as far as going to the bank, take a loan in the name of whatever it is, they take the loan, and then do a lavish, burial with the ashwebi, with the food. They say we got so caterers to come around to do the catering. You say that, and then the day after they are so they are the worst for it. I think that first of all, Ikoyi Cemetery and Aton Cemetery, by their pricing, appear to be what people ordinarily may be able to access and afford, even if by a lot of margins, their costs at the very least are still very high. 200,000, 300,000 are still very high for a lot of common people to afford. But the other ones like Ebony and I think those are for people who live in those neighborhoods and who obviously can afford to pay. So the point is that how do we make burial grounds accessible to the poor, to those who may not be able to afford humongous sums of money? So I think this is a conversation that ought to be ongoing. A lot of people, if you check how they even go about it, they rather keep their dead, like you said, in the morgue for long. By the way, keeping the dead in the morgue doesn't cost so much as I know. So
it's about in some places like 1,500 a day.
A day, or even much less, So again, mortuaries are also by social class. I mean, there are some mortuaries that people pay for as long as people pay very very steep prices. Sorry, people pay princely sums to keep their dead in certain mortuaries, while in other ones the fees are way lesser. But the thing is, I think it's about our values. The dead has died. In the Islamic world, it is on the day the person dies that the burial is conducted.
Which I subscribe to.
Which a lot of people have now come to see, feel that it's good. When I was much younger, in our church back there in my hometown, people would keep the dead for us. There was particular corpse that was kept for like 12 years.
Wow.
Of course, they were not to build the house first of all. Where they would do the line in state. For the world to say that this person did, those sort of things. They keep the corpse, they're building a house, they're doing that and so on. So, but in the end, the church now said, you know what, once someone dies, in 2 weeks, you must do the burial. People went and begged and said, the nuclear family does not do the burial, it's the extended family. So they said, okay, 4 weeks. So even that sometimes when the dead has died, they keep the corpse and say, and they won't inform the church. Up until maybe after a month or so, they come and say, okay, please formally notifying the church. So these things, there's this will I say, we don't mean to say people shouldn't cherish their dead. and give them that lasting, that final honor that they deserve. But I think that because of our psychologists, it has become another way to display status, display who is richest in the family. So because of those, sometimes the family will say, no, we will put him in equal vote. No, we will put him in them. No, we are going to, I'll bring the money. So that those sort of things, also play out sometimes. In the end, the poor who couldn't afford to live in decent housing while they were alive are not able to find the decent roof over their head when they are dead. So this is I think that we should have this conversation going on. How should we give a decent and befitting honor to those who have left us? Can cremation be the answer? Could we look at it? Does it break any social law? Does it break? Is it against the Nigerian Constitution? If our cultures do not expressly kick against them,
is something to
can we now? Yes,
be considered. All right, so 18,088 blood election results uploaded to IREF portal. Witness tells court. What do you make of that?
No, INEC should now tell us exactly in whose favor those results were. First of all, tell us whether indeed these results were thoughts and so. That as the person has witnessed, I said that they thought that they were indeed, what's it called, blood, or blanked out, or voided, and yet went ahead to upload them on the portal. If that was the case, were they computed for P2B, Rabi Kwankwaso, Atiku Abubakar, or the sitting president? And if we took, and what now should be done? Should we minus them from the equation? What are we supposed to do? And the person who uploaded, who saw them that they were blood and went on to upload them, was it with criminal intent? Or, so we need to establish all of these grounds. And then the court has to rule on it, because it will take the totality of the rulings for us to get a judgment. So the court must rule, must give ruling and say, should those votes indeed stand or not stand? When such votes came up in Ado during the election of Governor Kayode, second election of Governor Kayode Fayemi, a lot of votes were avoided. People, they don't know, they came up and saw that ink, they just splashed and they were avoided. So what is sauce for the goose? Why shouldn't be sauce for the gander? Like Peter B said, I think I agree with him. There's no ill will against Atiku Abubakar, Rabi Kwankwaso, the president, or even Peter B himself. If these votes were, it could have been given to anybody, to any of them. Let's trace them, and let's now know, what to do with them.
All right, now let's move to the punch now. We do have some interesting headlines here. On top of the nameplates, Naira weakens to 702 to a dollar. CBN fresh FX supply likely. Tinubu economic advisors propose customs. NIMASA FIRS merger. Fuel subsidy. NEC molds 702 billion naira as workers' allowance. And then let's go to the major headline, which we'll dwell on for a bit. APC bigwigs jostle for ministerial slots. Tinubu names 8 SAs, that's special advisors. Party chieftains favor Kiyamo, Omo Agege, Fayemi, Adeyeye, Ganduje, Marafa, others. And Edu appointed SA on monetary affairs. Alake gets communication. Ribadu handles security. All right. Now we have let's take a look at the individuals. Yes, we do have a bit of time. Let's take a look at the individuals. Ribadu, special advisor security. Alake, Dele Alake, special advisor, special duties, communications and strategy. And then we have Uwajumogu, industry, trade and investment. We have Edu, special advisor, monetary policies. We have Adedeji, special advisor, revenue. We have 2 women there on that 8-man list. We have Verhujian. I can't pronounce the name. Special advisor, energy, and that's a woman. And then we have Anas, special advisor, health. We also have Darazo, political and intergovernmental affairs. So
Yeah.
these are the first list of special advisors that the president has, made known to Nigerians. He sent a list of about 20 of them.
Yeah.
So we do have
Eight are out.
8 out. So I think some are still being contemplated or maybe lobbying.
Well, so some of these names on the list, if we have 8 already, it means we need some 12 more to
12
go.
more to go.
Yes. So some of these names on the list, of course, have been out there for a long time. We've known that these are the president's very, very close allies. Dele Like has been with him since forever. Wale Edun, the same thing. I was even expecting to, of course, the 20 slots are yet to be filled up. I was even expecting to see names like Emeka Doso and so on. But these are the people that the president is. I like the way they did the headline that he's unveiling his henchmen in batches. Of course, Alake was going to be either the very first person or on the very first batch. You saw during the inauguration when the president was left on the stage after his speech, Alake was one that stood beside him. In the course of the negotiations with labor, with the thieves and NLC, Alake had been the one speaking already speaking. So it appears it's a work, it's a job he's already been doing. Perhaps he, because some of us were of the opinion that he was likely going to be the ministerial nominee from Ekiti State. But of course, again, Kayode Fayemi and some other people are coming from Ekiti. So I don't know if he's already been given the ministerial, the post of an essay to vitiate to close the door on. Yeah, but again, the point is these are well qualified people with vast experience in public service and in their chosen fields, people who already have a name in the marketplace, people who have a strong track record. Wale was Commissioner of Finance in Lagos for 8 years under Tinubu, same as Alake was Commissioner for Information for that same period of time. So they understand the president's ideology, they understand his needs as a leader, and hopefully they'll be able to serve and feed those needs. The only person I thought, no, Ribadu, I was hoping maybe they could have given him a portfolio that had to do with advisor on anti-graft prosecution. Because I mean, no, but
still
see,
that,
it does. But why my argument is built is simple and straightforward. Former police officer. I would think that he became a specialist in anti-corruption because he was former EFC chairman. You have a CSO in Nassau Rock, Chief Security Officer to the president. You have an NSC. So a special advisor on security, it's fine. I mean, Nigeria is seriously has problems with. Maybe if you had appointed somebody from this North Central, from Plateau or from Taraba or from Benue, it would have given people from those areas an assurance that, because of the wanton killings in Plateau and all these places. I think even yesterday we still had somebody talk about killings still going on. So, but it's fine. So that's why I thought they could have given everybody something that had to do with anti-corruption and stuff. But maybe the president in his wisdom has said he's a police officer. Let's take him back to his watering hole, which is basically security, internal security. So these are the president's men. We wish them all the best. We know them to be one, astute and proven with results in their chosen fields. We know them to also be the president's very strong allies. New Uribadu was the candidate of the ACN for president in 2011. When Buhari was not even in the ACN yet, Buhari was in the CPC. New Uribadu was in the president in the president's party, the ACN, ran for president. He won only Osun State, back then 2011. So I think he's kept a close relationship with the president, and this is the time for him to now come on board and offer what it is that he may be able to offer Nigerians. So I think it's good. What they're doing, like I said, the woman who has been made essay on health, the one who has been brought in on energy. I hope that, these are, because people will tell you that, look, the ministers are there to run the ministries, but the people who are closer to the president are the special advisors. So we hope that, one, they'll give the advice, and two, the advice will be taken into now there's an advisor on financial matters, the monetary, physical. There's another advisor on revenue.
Yes.
On revenue. That is Zacchaeus Adedeji, right? Yes. Well, if you have taken subsidy away and you're going to now raise minimum wage, don't multiply the taxes, please. What the first thing they should be doing is to unify the tax system, and make sure that people and companies stop paying multiple taxes. At least do that first. Don't plan to raise it too high because you've just taken subsidy away, and let's be frank, we don't even know how much is going to be added to the minimum wage and consequential adjustment. So, but it's fine that they are there to begin their work. We wish them all the best.
And what do you make of the advice that or the proposal to merge customs, NIMASA, and FIRS?
No, it's long been coming. You know that the Oron Saye report did talk about merging, going from about 500 or 400 or something to about 200 or something department and agencies. There are too many. There are way too many. Look at from the airport. If from airport, there are many custom checkpoint, the MPA, police, DSS. There are too many of them.
Doing about the same thing.
Doing about the same thing, but they're all taking their bribes. And in the end, so why wouldn't the cost of things be high? Have one agency that does this work. If they're able to join them to look, in fairness, Moses, a lot of this multiplicity was created to make sure that the cake went round. Mm-hmm. By past military leaders and people who just felt, you know what, no, support me, make be so that they suffer. You have National Film Corporation, National Film and Video Censors Board. What does that even mean? What does that mean? And all these agencies, government is paying them salaries. And at the point they said that what they did was when you raise the money, you can spend it on your needs and just send the receipt and invest to federal government. If some of them are even now spending and come back to government at the end of the day and say you are owing us. After taking all the revenue and all the taxes, they still come back and say you are owing us. So it doesn't quite make a lot of sense. What we must do is what we must do. Make sure, in Kenya, for example, you find that the election commission is the same as the boundary commission. Because of delineation of constituencies and, so it's called IEBC, Independent Electoral and Boundary Commission. It's one commission. But in Nigeria, you could never imagine that Nigeria will have INEC and boundary commission together. No, it's not possible. It's because you're not sitting down to think. So I just hope that we will do what is right. It's a proposal, but I hope it flies. The president should sit down with his team. The other side report is there. You have NECO, you have JAMB, you have what's the other one? NAPTEB. All kinds of bodies. When you have the Ministry of Education, why these people are just the departments under the Ministry of Education, as far as I'm concerned.
True that.
So let's sit down and get together and what it is we want to do, please.
All right. So before we run out of time, let's look at some of the headlines from the Punch as well. EFCC summons Cyril quizzes Nigeria air officials. Probe begins as OAU student dies of suspected suicide. Boat tragedy. FG vows prosecution of operators. All right. Let's just go on.
I hope that was the headline the editor chose to take, because prosecuting the operators does not sound like good news to me.
The boat was overloaded. That's a reason for prosecution.
Moses, you and I have discussed here one time about people who load their buses. Is it from Kaduna to Kano and so on and so forth? Where are the regulators? Won't you even shut? River Niger is not River Niger. We are Nigeria because of River Niger, and we can't police it. We can't be there to man it and to watch it. We can't be there to do what we're supposed to do.
Well, I think prosecution of the operators is to serve as a deterrent.
It won't stop them. We had the same accident in 2021. More people even died. They never tell you that, that's what we're going to do our business. What you now need to do, that marine transportation or maritime, whatever it is big business. The people who live around those areas don't have another means of traveling. Is that not so? So what do we do? How can we bring global best practices in safety and investment and make sure that business sector is thriving and is optimized? We should be thinking about that. My intervention doesn't mean don't prosecute the man who the operators. Now, what if the man, the driver himself also died in the accident? You can't prosecute his cops. I think we should go to that place and check. Where are the government agencies that are supposed to be there to be checking? How come they were traveling at 3 a.m. in the morning? 3 a.m. So we should go there and check what are the lapses, fix them, okay? Then sensitize them. Then think about how we can invest and make that place better than what it is now. But to just look at it and say you broke the law, we prosecute you, it doesn't make any sense for me.
All right,
and it's certainly not a solution for the long term. Quite frankly speaking.
All right, thank you very much, Cyril Abaku, for coming on the program.
My pleasure.
All right, up next on VoP this morning, Nnamdi Kanu's family will be shopping for new lawyers, having sacked the current legal team of what we have known to be heavyweights. Well, let's talk about that in just a moment. We'll be back in a bit. Stay with us.